So tonight in the set, yes, Trixie's going to come up and Emmy's going to come up, and I'm going to sing some of the Quebec songs because they are dear to me, even after all this time, André. But I'm hoping to introduce a little bit of an electro moment because we're lucky enough to have one of the great improv specialists of our time on the stage, and that is Brian Blade on the drums. And I don't want him to just play little grooves. I want to push the man to his improv limit so that he hits his potential. He hits his capacity here in Montreal. So I embrace the values that Brian Blade grew up with, and they are the values of jazz. And what does that mean? It's called the Jazz Festival. It means that in the 50s, a small group of musicians decided that they did not want to be just on the bandstand with 30 other people being obedient. They wanted to break the mold, challenge form, and take music to another place, and it was called jazz.
Do you feel influence from the people that you have worked with throughout the years? Or you try to refrain from integrating them and still do your own thing?
I've absolutely been influenced by everyone I've worked with.
Yeah.
And that's the power of exchange and collaboration. And ultimately education. You know, I'm not an educated person by school, but I did get my honorary PhD, and I was wondering why would they do that to a guy like me from Hamilton? Well, the dean said, we hope that our students get to the place of experience that you have achieved. And so experience means that you have to take a gamble and say, okay, I think I'm ready to take this step. And I was lucky enough to have my skills intact when the invitations came to work with artists that knew something that I didn't, but I couldn't just show up without skills. So with the skills, I showed up and I was able to present something to them, and of course the exchange then happened. So my poetry got better when I worked with Bob Dylan. My defiance worked better when I was sitting with Bono, and you know, my appetite for processing sounds got better when I worked with Peter Gabriel. And we didn't talk about it or anything. Of course, that's just what you come home with. But it's natural, you know. You give and you shouldn't take. It just, the taking happens if you give automatically. You know?
You mentioned Brian Blade. Obviously, this is one of the most brilliant musicians in the world, not counting that he's the best drummer as far as I'm concerned. And for many people as well. I mean, he's a pole winner and all that. But that level of musicianship that you come to expect from him, how about yourself?
Well, myself, I'm trying to push the envelope in my own, within my own skills.
While you're creating music for yourself or with some other artist, is there a moment that you can really step back and look at things, or you still are too much involved to see if a masterpiece is being created or lesser music? Or is there something that tells you in your intuition, wow, we're hitting something now? At what moment do you feel that?
Without a doubt, we feel it at a certain moment if a masterpiece is on the horizon. And it usually happens the same way, that you develop a sound for a project, and as you get in there and you get dirty, something special will come your way, and then that something special is something that you've not done before. And it's like, okay, that little special moment of discovery belongs to this project, and we're going to sort of hang it on the wall or put it in the menu so we don't forget about it. Then another special and another one. And then before you know it, the record starts defining itself by those special moments. The job then is to recognize that the special moments might be more special than the plan that you went in with. Yeah. So to have the courage to abandon what you invested your time into, that's a big part of it. So if one of those special moments puts up its hand and says, I have the capacity to be a popular song, or I have the capacity to scare people, or I have the capacity to tell the naked truth, anything at all, any kind of a strong stroke, if it has that in it and has the capacity to reach its potential, we thank God and we pay attention to detail and take it to the mountaintop that way.